Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Lucid 9. Alrighty, so, okay, kind of forgot where we were, but anyway. I wordlessly leave him in his fantasy world of domination and head to the cafeteria. It's more out of routine than actually feeling hungry. The shock of running into an old friend after 4 years might have something to do with that. Maybe I should be angrier at Misaki. But at the same time, who knows what had happened with her and her mother? She seemed pretty uncomfortable talking about it. At least she's here now. I guess that's all that matters. If Misaki wants to tell me, she will in her own time. The cafeteria is broad and beautiful, boasting polished surfaces and tidy, well-lit spaces. Modern furniture settles well on the brushed mahogany floor. Students in pristine uniforms travel to and fro, scooping food from the extensive buffet counters around the perimeter of the cafeteria and returning to their friends. I spot Rui in the back corner of the cafeteria, staring up at the skylights with a thoughtful tilt to her head. Actually, this would be a perfect time to tell her about Misaki. Rui would be thrilled to see her again. Hey, Rui. She jumps slightly at the sudden sound, and only then do I remember that I'm supposed to be apologizing for being dramatic yesterday. Except, I've never been great at apologizing. Or even good. Or, actually, even mildly passable. Say, how are you? I'm doing okay. How was class? It was okay, I guess. Oh, okay. We shuffle for a moment and I finally clear my throat. About yesterday. It's okay, Yama. I know that seeing the bus must have brought up some memories. You were just lashing out. But I shouldn't have. No, I guess not. So next time something like that happens, I reserve the right to slap you silly. And just like that, everything is right between us. What have I done to deserve a friend like this? Thanks. But buy me lunch. What? Oh, come on, it's only fair. If I go into debt, I blame you for constantly mooching off of me. Are you ever going to pay for your own food? Probably not. But you can't count those grocery trips because I ended up cooking everything for you. And yourself. Labor taxes. Let's go already, I'm hungry. But just as she reaches forward and pulls my arm to her side, we hear a very familiar voice from behind us. Well, 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 what have we here? We jerk around. Okay, I didn't know whose voice that was, so whatever. We jerk around in synchronization and promptly come face to face with Mr. Riode. Riode? Whatever. Rui quickly squeaks and jumps away, suddenly bashful. Oh, hi, Mr. Riode. Look at you two, the adorable childhood friends, finally getting together after years of unneeded drama. I was like, what the hell? Unended drama? I can read. You wouldn't know that, but... Bah, I feel sick. What is this, some crappy anime? What? We're not together? I wouldn't go out with Yam in a million years. It's actually really adorable. I struggle to maintain a straight face. I know. I'm just too good for you. She snaps back into the Rui that the rest of us at the academy know her as. Witty, confident, and a touch malicious. She opens her mouth, no doubt to smite me with some comeback or another, but Mr. Riode breaks us up. Well, if I don't end up barfing my guts out, you guys will have the most adorable wedding in all of history. And there goes Rui. How can you say something like that, Mr. Riode? You're a teacher, you should know better. Oh, come on, you two will be back on this day. You two will look back on this day, mark my words. With a cheerful wave, he splits into the faculty express line. Those words sound fairly ominous. I can already imagine all the embarrassing stories he'd liberally share with the other wedding guests. We'd probably have so many people rolling in the aisles from laughter that Rui wouldn't even be able to walk properly. What the heck am I even thinking about? Wedding? Rui? Mr. Ryoda's being his usual self, I see. Yep. Now he's got me thinking about... Nope, not going there. Maybe now would be a good time to switch topic. Oh, right, I even have the perfect material. Hey, Rui, you're not going to believe this, but I saw Mickey today. Rui's face cuts to complete blankness in the space of a millisecond. It is really shocking news. Maybe should have eased should have eased it a bit. She ended up transferring to the school, and we coincidentally wound up in the same class. Dead silence. I finally start to feel a prickle of apprehension. We can hang out together again. We can... Oops, sorry, clicked the wrong place. Did you talk to her? What? Of course, it's Mickey. Really, what's wrong? Aren't you happy? Well, no, I'm not. As far as I'm concerned, she has nothing to do with either of us anymore. Don't you remember? We were kids who held a stupid grudge for something beyond our control. Come on, we're older than that now. Oh, are we? She didn't really apologize, did she? Well, I pause for a moment. Rui's expression immediately darkens. I see that she didn't, and I know why. Because she wasn't there to see you fall apart. I don't think you remember, Yama, but you were in a really bad place after she left. Even to the point where, I mean, you know. But that wasn't because of Misaki. I mean, yeah, but she triggered the whole thing. It's just, when I think about it, I get mad at her. Really mad. So it's probably best for her and me if she stays away. Best for both her and me if she stays away. So, you're not going to be friends again? The thought is so baffling that I can't help but stutter. In my mind, we'd always been a package deal. Me, Rui, Misaki. It was either all or nothing. I mean, you're your own person, so you should hang out with whoever you want. But I can't be buddy-buddy with Misaki until she realizes what she's done. I never thought Rui of all people would be irrational. How bad had I been, exactly? I'd never seen Rui so upset. At least, not in a really long time. Sorry to be a downer. Why don't we just grab some lunch? How about you go on ahead? I need to talk to Mr. Riode. Okay. Surprisingly, she doesn't ask me any more questions. She heads to the lunch line without a word. Who's going to pay for her lunch, though? She's going to have to buy it herself? What the hell? Maybe she also feels rotten inside, like something has been lost forever. I shake these thoughts and immediately locate Mr. Riode, who's just popped out of the faculty line and, conveniently enough, is headed in my direction. He watches our separation with an eyebrow raised to his hairline. Oh, are the newlyweds already running into trouble? I ignore this. Good timing, Mr. Riode. I want to ask you something. If the question is whether to officially ask Rui out, the answer is yes. What? No, that's not the question. Oh, really? That's a bit boring. Rui and I aren't... You know what? Never mind. I was wondering what it means when you see someone you haven't seen in forever, who you thought disappeared off the planet. It means exactly what you just said. Your life actually is a crappy anime. I never said that. Oh, you didn't? Mr. Riode... Sorry, can't help it. Now, who's this person you haven't seen in forever? She just transferred into my class this morning. Rui, her, me, we were really close when we were little. Back in our hometown Cedo. Transfer student, childhood friend? Don't even think about it. Too late. My life is not a crappy anime. It's not. It's an anime-style game. You're right, it's a really crappy anime. So what's the problem? Well, I talked with her, and I think we'll be friends again, but Rui... is jealous? What? No! What is this, junior high? Sorry, I'll shut up. See, when Misaki, that's the transfer student, left, she accidentally triggered a giant depressive state that basically left me in the dumps for a year. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. Rui claims it was bad. Yama, when can you come to my office today? I want to listen properly to you, and the cafeteria is not exactly an ideal environment. Well, I guess that Mr. Riode got hired into his job for an actual reason. Okay, guess I'll drop by after school? Or during, really. Either way works. Now off to lunch, you. Gotta eat before the bell rings. Young, growing boys need all the nutrition they can get. That sounds wicked creepy. He can't sound like the wise, all-knowing teacher when he just implied it was fine for me to ditch school. See you later, Mr. Riode. He only responds with a casual wave before he saunters over to the nearest table, chatting easily with a group of students. I snag a plate of food and search for Rui, but she's nowhere in sight. I guess that conversation took a little longer than I originally intended. I quickly scarf my food down and return to the classroom. They must have, like, the same teacher for all their classes, which is just weird. I mean, I don't know. Is that how it works? Because, like, obviously in the US, you have, like, different teachers for different subjects, and you, like, go to different classes. But this seems like they are always in the same class. I don't know. I mean, maybe not, but it's the same classroom, but obviously, like, for the game, it's just going to look the same. But I thought the teacher in the earlier one was a woman, and then this today was a man. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. But it's weird, but he says hurries back to the classroom. It makes it sound like he's always in the same classroom. Instead of, like... And everyone in his class is always the same. You know what I mean? It's like when you were in, like, elementary school. You might have, like, 2 different teachers. Your class was the same, and you just went over to a different teacher in the afternoon. And your other class that had that teacher in the morning went to the teacher you had in the morning. You know, it was like 2 different classes, 2 different teachers. That's it. Anyway. Alright, class, let's take a secondary roll before we head to the courtyard. What? We have more PE? The teacher's halfway through rolling her eyes. Oh, okay, now it's a she. Before she catches herself. I guess it's not a good example to roll your eyes in front of your students. No, Yahiko, today's career day, as has been announced over the PA for the past 3 days. Afternoon classes were canceled so that third years may explore possible future occupations with specialists. Oh, right. Questions of the future. Writing prompt about our dream job. Now, career day. I think I'm sensing a pattern here. We're already running a little late, so let's make this quick. Anyone missing? Nope! That prompts us to glance around. I think he's right, ma'am. Everyone's here. Everyone except Misaki, who apparently is at her job. Time to do some not-so-subtle recon. Teacher, where's that girl? The one sitting by the window? The teacher waves her hand dismissively. Special circumstances? Anyone else? Despite myself, I feel a prick of curiosity. Special circumstances? What kind of circumstances could warrant such an offhand dismissal from the teacher? I thought most teachers loathe making exceptions for mandatory events. Just what could Misaki's job be? As the teacher continues to survey the classroom, I feel a nudge against my arm. I'm surprised you brought it up. What? Usually you wouldn't say anything even if you noticed. You wouldn't have thought too much you would have thought of too much trouble. Her words are remarkably neutral. It's awkward. Feels like a trap. I think you should stop pretending like you actually know me or that you have a brain. You're insufferable! She storms to the back of the room in a huff. I'm insufferable? She's done far, far worse, and she's still judging me? What a hypocrite. All right, looks like everyone is here. To the courtyard! Destiny awaits! There are more than a few rolled eyes, but everyone obediently files out of the classroom. Our class pours into the courtyard, which currently resembles a crowded street market. Columns of booths are set up in ordinary lines, each attempting to outshine the others with progressively more outrageous signage and progressively louder music. I wonder if they got a booth for my future job. Come to think of it, in all the 203 times he's talked about his dream, he's never once mentioned his future job. Just all the things he'll own. Oh, and what might that be? Isn't it obvious? With my stunning looks and all? So, a trash can. Is that even a job? Of course it's a job. Oh, well, no. I want to be a model. He's got the brains for it. Wait, that's not as silly as it seems. I mean, seeing as how he just believed that being a trash can was a profession, he can't have a job that requires him to think. He also can't have a job that requires social interaction. He'd just repel people instead of attracting them. Those are his 2 biggest flaws, and modeling doesn't need either. As for his looks, I hate to admit it, but he's not so bad looking. He'd probably be able to land himself a girlfriend if he could just keep quiet. It almost sounds like a serious plan. Yahiko, my friend, I'm glad you finally realized the cruel truth. Eh? What are you talking about? I'm just saying that's a good idea, especially coming from you. Isn't it? Once I become famous, the entire world will be able to witness my magnificence. I'll be on TV, the internet, advertising blimps, basically everywhere. On second thought, maybe it's a terrible idea. Well, if you don't mind me, I'm off to meet my destiny. And with that, he skips off into the crowd, leaving me awkwardly leaning against the wall like some kind of delinquent. I'm not really sure what to do. I'll be wasting my time if I look around, but I'll be wasting my time if I stay here. What a conundrum. You there! I turned to the source of the voice, a man in a medical coat, standing in front of a booth boasting the holographic sign, Way Forward Pharmaceuticals, Hospital Division. Hunch. I'm guessing he's a doctor. Are you interested in becoming a doctor? Bodies? Open wounds? Yeah, no. Sorry, I don't think I could deal with the pressure of being a doctor. If that's what you're worried about, then don't worry. I'm a heart surgeon, and I get an entire team of people helping me during the operations. Well, if I have people helping me... Scalpel, please. Nah. What do you mean, nah? Well, I thought I was supposed to do all the cutting this time. That doesn't matter. It sure does. I see what's going on here, man. You want to take all the credit. Guess what? That ain't happening. What are you talking about? I'm the doctor here. Doctor, the patient is in critical condition. If you don't act fast, he's gonna die. The patient is dying. Dang it, give me the scalpel. Whoa there, don't be getting your scrubs in a bunch. Doctor, the patient is dead. See? Look at what you did. Look at what I... Yeah, I don't think being a doctor is right for me. Are you sure? We've got a great internship program. I'm good. Thanks, though. Another nearby booth catches my eye. A multicolored sign claims that it's from the National Education Institute. Behind the booth table, a tall woman in glasses is speaking animatedly to a small group of students. Don't you feel that we have a duty to equip the next generation? In this society, knowledge is power, and we need to ensure that our successors have the power to move forward. My job is the best and most beneficial, and there are no downsides whatsoever. Yeah, been there, heard that. Don't your students annoy you or tire you out? Well, I've had some ups and downs in my career, of course. They're more, difficult students, maybe perplexing at first, but when you persevere, you always end up getting those students back on the right path. Is that so? Teach, what's 5 plus 7? This is high school, Mr. Akari, not primary school. You should have mastered addition by now. But teach! Excuse me, Mr. Kuragane, smoking is not permitted on campus. Hand those over. Shh! You ain't the boss of me, kid. Kid, I'm your teacher. Shorter than me, kid. And that makes you a kid. Alright, that's it. You're staying after class. You got detention to serve. Says who? Says you? You couldn't even take on a diseased chicken with one claw tied to its tail. That's... Why can't you be that eloquent on your essays? To teacher. What? What's wrong? What? Are you crying? Again? What for? Oh, you're angry at me. I'm sorry. I'm so terrible. I can't. Hey, don't cry. Yeah, I don't think I have enough patience to deal with students. I like how he fantasizes about it, though. I meandered down the row of booths, apathetically peering at any that seemed mildly entertaining. One man with remarkably bushy mustache raises his fists in the air, yelling at the top of his lungs. Do you love Japan? Join the Japanese Self-Defense Force today! Wow, I thought those kind of diehard patriots only existed on TV. Any man who's able to follow orders can be seen as a hero of Japan. If you're still alive. Grenade! Cover it, soldier! What? But we could just run away! Jump on that grenade or I'll have you court-martialed for insubordination! But I'll die. All the better. Hop to it! Yeah, not happening. I turn away from the booth. Everything I see is equally unpromising. Do you have a knack for cooking? Why not apply to Lion Culinary School? Gather here, engineers, mathematicians, fellow countrymen. The biggest digital corporation in the world, Lemniscat, has positions open for you. Have you always wanted to help the hurting? Join us at the Cumulus Therapy Center and transform the world, one life at a time. A quick glance in the other direction reveals that I seem to be the only one having trouble. I find Elizabeth in deep conversation with a police officer just a few feet away. I wouldn't have thought her to be the type. Maybe she's sucking up to them so they'll let her off for corporate fraud? Meh, can't really judge her. At least she found something that she's interested in. Me, on the other hand, well, I have nothing. What's up? Can't find your life's calling? What? I turned to the source of the voice. A scraggly man slumped against a rickety folding chair. A worn beanie plopped on his head and a threadbare trench coat thrown over his shoulders. There's no sign on his booth. Is hobo a legitimate career? Ha! Youngsters these days. You hold your future in your own hands and you don't even know what to do with it. You're lucky, you know. There was a time when people didn't have the luxury of choosing their career. Upon second glance, I noticed that there are several rolling racks of books settled in the back of the booth. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to their genre. Science fiction, mystery, fantasy, young adult? But they're all under the same name. Are you a writer? He smiles when I ask him this. Heh, what, surprised? Who'd you think I was? An adventurer? Globetrotter? A homeless guy, actually. He throws back his head and laughs. You got life! I can't wait to read your stories. Somehow I don't think that being a writer would fit me. Oh, somebody help me! Whatever shall I do? Fear not, generic damsel in distress. I'm the hero. I lost the previous battle, so this is the heroic rematch where I'm guaranteed to win. How fortunate! After you win this final battle, I shall bestow you with an obligatory smooch of victory. Hey, you can't just ignore the villain. I got your girl, Yama. Spare us with your evil gloating. It'll only lead to your downfall. But I gotta give a motive rant so that we understand your identity as a tragic villain? Nah, I'll just put that as a footnote. Okay, I'm tired of this needless banter. I've actually written the princess's backstory so that she's a badass in distress. What? But you didn't even foreshadow that! Too bad. I need to move the plot forward. Hiya! No! Yeah, I don't think I can come up with original material. That's why you just rip off real life, you know? Thanks, but no thanks. He shrugs apathetically as I walk away. Alright. I'm gonna wrap this part up here. I know we're still going with this, but I gotta keep the parts a little bit shorter right now because I got a lot of stuff to record that I'm gonna be posting for the next, 3 weeks, so gotta kind of cut parts, so. I know we're in the middle, and normally I wouldn't do this. I would kind of keep going through the fair, but I'm going to wrap this part up here, and when we come back, we will continue with the fair and see what else happens. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to see more.